Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Welcome to the after show with a twist. Brian, the babyface Matroni, one of the very few guests who stays and puts his full amount of time in.
That's it, man. I'm not just a come and go type of guy. I'm a stay and play.
How's your? I know 1 week you missed because you have. I think you got a pretty big case going on right now, don't you?
I had that. I had the trial.
I don't think we've talked since the trial, have we?
No. Well, I was on once after, so I had the trial. I missed a week. Then I was on. Then I had blood work the following week. I had a doctor's appointment I couldn't change, and then now I'm here.
How have you had the results of the blood work?
Yeah, everything's good.
Like testosterone, your prostate, your balls.
Everything's looking good. I don't have to do anything.
Different. What about trial? How did you win?
We did win, yes.
You did?
Yay!
Yes.
I mean, was it a big win? Was it a medium win? Was it a small win? There you go.
1.2 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Could have been better. Could have been worse. It was a tough case, which is why we had to actually go all the way through to verdict. So, but glad I was able to do it for the family and help them out. And so
but you had to go all the way to the verdict.
And now they're filed their motion for new trial. They've not shown any signs of being compassionate to this woman who lost her husband at all. And hopefully they have a change of heart and let it go. We won it. The mediator said we had a good case. The arbitrator, we wanted arbitration. We were forced to non-binding arbitration. Then we won at trial, and they're still fighting it. I don't know. They're never going to win this case.
Are you talking about like an insurance company?
Yeah, it's the insurance company and the defense attorney.
So you win 1-2, and so now the insurance company is that just a way for the defense attorney to suck more money out of the insurance company and churn? That's
definitely something they can do with it. Yep. Delay.
And so they can keep charging, right?
Yep.
Do you ever have that candid of a discussion with counsel? There's something
I'm going to get close. If they're considering an appeal on this, I'm going to call up and be like, are you guys human? Do you guys in that cold, dark cavern in your chest, is there a heart anywhere in there? I mean, first of all, how many times do you guys need to be told that you lost until you're going to accept it? Okay, the mediator told you your case was shit. The arbitrator awarded us more than the jury even did in this case, and then you filed for a new trial for that. Then the jury awards us the verdict, and now you're challenging that. I mean, at some point, throw in the fucking towel. You lost. You've lost 3 times now, essentially.
Can you have that Can you have that option?
I mean, we can always call them up and talk to them about it, but the problem is they haven't shown themselves to be reasonable at any point.
I know, but can you call like I know that you've become familiar with the people that you're going against, like first like Jim or Rhonda or Lisa or whatever, Susie. Could you call them up and be like, "Hey, Susie," and she's like lead counsel, whatever. This is Brian over here. Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys are gonna. I mean, for real, we will kick your fucking ass again. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, they don't even have good basis to do it. It is just delay at this point. And part of the issue too is that we have expired proposal for settlement, so they could be on the hook for our attorney's fees and costs from April 20th of 2020 until the end of trial. And so I was co-counsel with another firm on it. With that, I mean, they're probably looking at an extra $300,000 in legal fees on top of it. So, having to pay out that extra cash would potentially hurt. So but I would be willing to negotiate off of that, and the client would be as well if they would just be willing to end it. But we'll see. We'll see if we get there.
I mean, are you even? Do you think that the insurance company is even making these decisions, or are their attorneys making them for
I got to
them?
imagine that the insurance company is involved, but apparently this is a big client for them, so they have a template that they follow with them, and they don't care what the circumstances are apparently. So we'll see. The most they ever offered before we went to trial was $250,000.
Trial. Jury comes back. How long were they deliberated for?
It was 4 hours.
Okay, that's probably
there was a compromise verdict. We were going to get a massive verdict, but there was one or two jurors that were not sold on it and didn't believe in awarding, I guess,
the massive.
We were close because they asked us to replay the video for them of the incident. Thank God we had it on video. So we replayed it, and they, three of them you could see had a real just deep guttural reaction to it, just upset, and I thought we were good, but then I know which juror or two it may have been that were
took a shit on it,
because then an hour later or 2 hours later they came back with a question saying, what if we can't reach a verdict? And at that point the judge is like, the only thing he could tell them, which is you got to reach a verdict. They were only back there 2 hours at that point, so
which usually the quicker it comes back, the worse it is for you.
If it was super fast, it's not going. It takes a little bit of time to go through numbers and things like that and get everybody on board.
Like when the state, when my verdict came back when the state was trying to put me in prison for 5 years in 52 minutes, I remember Norman Canello Sr. turning to me and said, "Boy, you're going to be okay."
Yeah.
And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, 52 minutes means you're walking. That's what he said. Right?
Yep.
They're not going to. If I was going to be found guilty, they're going to deliberate it for a while, how long, blah, blah, blah. But just a straight, this is a fucking joke, comes back in 52 minutes.
Yeah.
After they served ham sandwiches for lunch. So now you start the process of, do you got to start it all? You don't have to depose or anything like that. What's the next step?
Motion for new trial is the next step, and then we'll have our motion to tax attorneys' fees and costs, and then we'll have our motion, file notice of the proposal for settlement, and have a hearing on that, and then get everything.
Hold on. What if the judge says during one of these hearings, "I'm telling you guys, you need to fucking pay this. Like you this is done in my eyes. It's done." Or can he not say that?
No, he can't say that. He can just say, "I'm not going to grant you a new trial," and then they have the right, if they want, to appeal based upon that. And we'll see what they do.
Now, when they appeal, does that mean you try it again?
No, they appeal, which means it goes to the second DCA,
right? Which I'm very familiar with.
They've got to point out to what legally the judge did wrong, and that it was, significant enough of a mistake to have made
the outcome of the
verdict. Yeah, but then
and there's none of that meat on the bone, is there?
No,
there's nothing.
No, the theory that they have and what they're going after is weak.
So it's just what you think the opposing attorney is just going to churn for maybe 3, 4, 5 more months, and then they'll be like, okay, let's just go ahead and pay.
Probably. We'll see. Hopefully it's only another month or two, but we'll see.
It sucks to win, but not really win.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what people don't realize in the legal business, sometimes you win, but you really don't win. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you win, and like Hogan, everybody thought he won $141 million. He only got $35 million of that. Now, again, I'll take $35 million all day.
Yes, please.
But, he didn't win the 141, and nobody knows what he won against the other one because it's settled. But settled before depots. What's that mean, Brian, as a lawyer?
That means they didn't want you to get into the evidence.
Settled before depots. If you got
that doesn't happen.
But what I'm saying to you is, as an attorney, if you got somebody wanting to settle before depots, does that not make you fucking water? Like you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're talking settlements before depots.
Yeah, if they're reaching out, they're operating from a position of weakness there.
Right. So, like, if you're that as an attorney, right? So, I mean, your number just got instantaneously harder to deal with, right?
In more ways than one.
Right. You set depots for, 3 or 4 people, and you get your phones ringing saying, listen, we don't really want we don't want that. How about a little gambling action?
Let's.
Let's.
Here we go. How about a little gambling action?
Yes, let's.
With a reverb Willie.
Let's.
You already said that.
Let's. $100. Come on, Bubba. What's this?
I mean, we don't got a lot left.
I know, but only 100.
Might be making a phone call here soon.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, or not. I don't know.
Making it rain.
We're dropping nickels.
We're dropping nickels.
We used to be dropping dimes. Now we're dropping nicks.
Yeah.
Let's be careful how we say that.
Nickels?
Dropping nicks.
Okay. I heard you.
N-I-C-K-S. Abbreviated for the word nickel.
Or New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either the New York Knicker.
R.J. Barrett.
Getting close to the
this
sun
bitch.
there.
That's
About
right.
to get burned. Okay.
Some Patrick Ewings.
Yeah,
14,000. We started with 20. We had it built all the way up to 50.
Phil Jackson.
And now we're as low as we've ever been.
Yeah, we are.
Does the 14,000 include our $5,000 bet, or were we at 19,000?
No, it includes.
Yeah, that's not bad. Let's go. Shuffle up and deal.
MyBookie.com. Use promo code Bubba. I only got 2 more days, today and tomorrow, and I got 15,000 to wager. So here we go. We're dealing. And Brian,
Mount Pozier, 25 on the Venmo.
we haven't had good luck with Brian at all.
No.
I mean, we haven't.
Whoa. We were even. In fact, we were up.
Even.
We were up $1,000 with me.
You're right.
Hold on. Bubba, the luck that we're talking about is like when we had Jay, we started at 25, we went to 35 and quit. We didn't quit on even.
So are we a 13 versus a 4?
We're fucked.
We're fucked.
We're staying.
You think? Yeah, that's right.
I mean, against the 4, you're playing the bus. 10-10. Here we go.
Yep.
Oof.
Ouch.
Big oof.
Well,
that's Brian on this day.
You want me to leave the room and see if you do better?
No.
Okay.
We just want you to blame you.
We just want to win one.
Come on, Brian.
Don't go 5 again.
Yeah,
let's just go 5 one more time.
Oof.
Yeah. And when we win, Brian, you'll be happy.
And now we're down to 10,000, which gives us a little bit of play with tomorrow.
Yep.
If we lose, we're walking away for the day. And if we win, well, we'll make that determination now. That'd be a good problem to have now, wouldn't it?
It sure would be.
MyBookie.com.
It's nice. It's not nice.
We're okay. We're okay. They're going to have 17.
Or 19. Stand. Yep. Call it that one.
Let's do $200.
That's what.
500. 500.
Let's just do one more 500. We don't want to go out. We don't want to go out as losers.
No. Yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get back to 10,000.
We don't want to go out as losers.
Yeah. We got this. We're going to go on a little run here.
Oh, fucking A.
Oh, we got a 14.
You're going to hit.
14 dealers showing a 9. We're going to hit. We just,
boom!
There we go. Nothing can beat us. Nothing.
Well, technically 21. Yeah, push.
So it would have pushed, but that's a win, right?
That's a win.
I said earlier.
Yeah.
Now do we go?
No, you do 500 again, and then next time you double up.
Okay, here we go. 500 again. King. All right, we got 19. They're showing 15.
We should win this like 90% of the time.
Now, this is a 90% win time deal here. Hold on. They just did an 11.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We almost got crushed.
We almost got fucked.
All right, now we go up to 1,000.
Now we go to 1,000, or do we go to?
No, do 1,000 because we got.
He's doing the slow casino roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, double. Do we double?
What are they showing? A deuce?
They're showing a 3.
A 3?
We double.
Yeah, you double.
We double.
Yeah,
Double down. Oh shit, balls.
Winner.
Oh yeah. Anna, fucking hang the phone up. 1-888-ADMIT-IT if you have a gambling addiction or a problem, or you need to talk to somebody about your addiction. 888-ADMIT-IT.
Now we go up to 2, right?
No.
Yeah, we did it too.
Oh, we're getting hot.
There we go. That's
boom,
nice.
baby.
Boom. I mean,
pay me.
I mean, that's about a 96% win.
Technically, Bubba, we could get real dangerous and split it since they're showing a 4.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that.
No, we're not doing that. We're standing in the sand. Look at that. We're 3. What are we? 3, 4 in a row?
Well, we would have had 20. Okay.
Yeah, well, we don't know what they.
Well, I mean, shit, the woulda, coulda, fucking woulda. We just won 4,000.
Now we're going up to 3.
Now we go to 3.
Yep.
Well, Bubba, I'm just saying. I mean, we live on the edge here with splitting it.
8-18.
You got it.
They're showing a 19.
You got to hit it,
I think
right?
you stand.
No, you got to hit.
You got to hit?
Well,
because they could be showing 19 and we lose automatically.
Yeah, but they're not showing 19. They're not.
Well, it's up to you, Bubba. What do you do here?
I stand.
Okay.
I stand because I don't think they hit 9. I don't think they have 19.
Okay.
What do you do in this situation? Be honest. Anna, what do you do?
You move, you stand, you jiggle. I don't know.
Brian?
I mean, what does the book say?
The book says hit. Book says hit.
Yeah, but you say stand. So go with stand.
What do you say?
I'd say hit. Yep.
Got to listen to the book sometimes. All right, back to 1,000.
No. Bubba knows. Back to
right.
Okay, now if we play this and if we lose, we're still, because we were at 10 grand, were we not? Or no, we were at 15, weren't we?
Yeah, we started 20 actually.
Excuse me.
Were we really at 20?
For the day? For the day.
No, yeah. All right, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
We're in good shape. We're in really good shape. We won.
There we go.
Yay.
All right, let's be done with it.
Yeah, we're back above 10 at 13.
You're at almost 14.
No,
right?
but are we
13,998.
still down? Are we still down?
We're down,
down for the day.
We're down 5,000 since you started playing.
Well, we're down 5,000
since you started playing with us today. Because you came in down a little bit. I don't know how.
Yeah, he played overnight.
All right, this is our last bet of the day. Let's just go 5 Gs.
Yeah, let's go 5.
And then this is it, okay, guys?
Unless we win, then we talk about it. Oh, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Well,
16 on a 16. What's the book
You stand.
say?
You absolutely stand. You let them bust. Bust. Yes.
Look, Anna, look at that. We're back up to 20K.
I'm so proud of you.
one more, we get over.
So
20.
I say let's go $3,000 on this one.
Why do you pick 3?
Because I don't want to give back all of our winnings. So
If we would have kept it, but if we just would have not bet, we'd be way up, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but let's try one more to get up. We're running hot. I like where we're at.
17 on a 14, we stand, right?
Yep. Oof. That's why I went down to 3. All right, we're good.
So now we walk away.
16
do
grand.
Do we go to the buffet?
Yeah, we go to the we go. You ask the pit boss for our free meal buffet ticket to comp us a meal since we've been betting $5,000.
Yeah, since we're averaging. And you know what, Brian? They give it to you too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're going, I mean, honestly,
you're getting a room. Are you kidding? You're getting a room. You're playing 5,000 a hand.
If you really just played that way in real money, right?
Yeah.
If you literally were risking that type and they go by. Of what your average bet for how long of a period,
right? And
we're fucking risking that much. I mean, our average bet per hand is probably
$3,000, $4,000,
$3 or $4,000. Yeah. You're staying in a junior suite and getting all your and getting comped a lot.
Yeah.
You're eating steak and lobster that night.
You're not waiting for the cocktail waitress.
No.
They're keeping those drinks coming fast and furious.
Now, Lummy, at the Seminole Hard Rock.
Yes.
If you're a big whale, do they? I heard they still charge you for drinks.
Oh yeah.
Well, except if you go in the certain rooms.
high limit rooms.
Yeah.
They'll
it's free.
They'll give you comp. But
I remember
you've got it. But you have to have the card to get in there.
But hold on, I remember back in the day. I mean, not even that long ago, like at Mandalay Bay and some of the places that we would go to, the Wynn in Vegas with Fabrizi, like
no, drinks are free in Vegas. They're not free in the only show in town.
Yeah,
you have no other choice.
They're free if there's more than one casino.
So in Vegas, they're free, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally free.
100%.
You can have whatever you want.
Well, within reason.
No.
They're not getting you Louis.
Oh, yeah, but double tall Chivas on the rocks.
I mean, could I get my sex on the beach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They
all
love
day?
that. They would love that.
Iowa's new abortion bill.
How about Indiana?
Well, Indiana, I think theirs goes into law like now.
Oh.
And Iowa is considering one. Indiana's 6 abortion clinics have stopped providing abortions ahead of the state's near total abortion ban officially taking effect as a petition pins before the state's high court asking it to keep the ban on hold while the legal action continues. Planned Parenthood's 4 Indiana abortion clinics. Hold on, they only have 4 in the entire state. We probably got 4 on Hillsborough. Right?
Yeah. I mean, Florida's down to 6 weeks, buddy. We ain't that far away. Most women don't even know they're pregnant until 6 weeks.
After that.
Indiana's Republican-backed bill will end most abortions in the state. Even in the earliest stages of pregnancy, Indiana became the first state to enact tighter abortion restrictions after the U.S. Supreme Court ended nearly half-century federal abortion protection, overturning Roe v. Wade. Which... Although Planned Parenthood 4 Indiana abortion clinics have stopped providing abortions, Gilbron said its 11 health centers across the state continuing to offer a wide range of services, including emergency, contraceptive, and birth control. What does that mean?
Emergency contraception would seem to me to be the Plan B pill.
Oh.
Which is kind of an abortion.
Kind of. Not quite, but sort of. Not really, but maybe.
Doesn't allow it to implant.
It doesn't implant. So if it doesn't implant,
but that still means it's a zygote, like it's a fertilized egg.
but it's not a viable fertilized egg until it's implanted into
Hold on.
Yeah.
So the RU486 bill, is that what you're saying?
I think we're just talking about how Plan B works.
Plan B, but isn't that called the RU486? Isn't that
I guess
something
so.
like the chemical? The chemical
I don't know.
term is something. We just call it Plan B because RU486.
So
it's
now,
certainly not Plan A.
Does it work up until how many weeks?
Oh no,
days.
it's with like 2 days. You have to take it within 2 days.
You fuck and they, do
you
the
got
thing.
a 48-hour window.
And then you got to take it.
You fuck.
And then you better start bleeding fast. Fast.
Yeah, but hold on. If you fuck, how do you know you're pregnant?
You don't, but
you
it's
take it to make sure you're not.
It's
when a guy just blasts inside of you and you're not on birth control.
You go, oh my God, look what I've done. What a mess.
486.
At that point, you could just take Plan B and it doesn't implant. You immediately get your period is what happens. So yeah.
Bubba used to mash those up and put it into the Critz mashed potatoes.
I need to have a fucking truckload of these things back in the day. Not really. I mean,
you were good about it.
Do your punch cards for abortion still count in the free ones in Indiana?
I don't know.
I just can't pay for one, right? But if I have a free one coming, I mean a card says
only 8 more to go.
10 and the 11th is free.
I mean, I've had 4.
Oh wow.
I've had 4.
How many illegitimate kids do you think you had though?
Well, 4.
No, not abortions. Actual
you mean like
illegitimate
chicks I may have fucked, got
you
pregnant,
fucked,
and then just lost contact with?
Yes. Like how many little clemsters are running around there?
I want to answer that question.
Why not? I mean, like seriously, like
I did a 23andMe and nothing came back. So
that's a decent sign.
I did fuck a lot of girls. But
that's what I'm saying. Back in the day,
I always kind of had a rule where I wouldn't come in them. I'd always pull out.
Effectively?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Except 4 different times.
You pre-came a little bit. Well, 5 different times. 1 carried to term.
Yeah, true. I've gotten 5 ladies pregnant. One baked the cookie.
Oh, let's shift gears. Back to abortion.
Why should we? It's cool. People want to know how many abortions I've had.
Okay.
Did you pay for all of them, or did you?
Of course I did. I was a gentleman.
That is a gentlemanly thing.
I went to one.
The gentlemanly thing to do is go to all of them, and then you go to like Chick-fil-A or something afterwards.
Well, I went to the very first one because that's when I was the most scared.
I take her out for eggs, scrambled eggs.
I went to the very first one because we were dealing with some age stuff and
stuff.
Yeah,
she was too old for you.
She was too young. She was underage, and
she was underage. Hold on, she was underage in Indiana, but she wasn't underage in East St. Louis, Missouri.
She wasn't underage in Somalia.
So she was underage to get an abortion without her mom knowing. In Indiana,
yeah,
but in Missouri,
because she was,
I don't know how old she was.
But the lawyer said never bring up the story again.
No, they told me not to bring the Gretchen Rose story up.
Oh,
again.
So let's do that.
But here's the thing about the Gretchen Rose story. I mean, I really don't think I really think that the.
She's 14. She's pregnant, and it's mine.
She was that old.
No, the one.
This is going to ruin my career as a DJ.
I don't think that they can come back and get you on how old they were if they aborted it. What would be the evidence?
And I don't think they can come back and get you when we're clearly joking, hypothetically speaking. We're not speaking. This is radio, the theater of the mind.
I mean, statistically, they probably could go back and look at the records. My name hasn't changed.
Bubba, you're not helping yourself.
What I'm saying is this, though. Hey, Brian, do you know the Gretchen Rose story?
I don't know.
Bubba,
oh, my God.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
well, don't worry. You won't be able to go back and listen to it, Brian, because we deleted it from everything.
But now Bubba's going to give me new ones for you guys.
Yeah, now we're going to do it again.
Did we delete?
You told me about it a month ago.
Statute of limitations. We had to delete it.
I think Denzel told me not to tell it again.
Yeah, well.
You have law enforcement, buddy?
Yeah, hold on.
Probably listen to him.
Hold on. Law enforcement, that's law enforcement in the community that I'm speaking about.
He's like, hey, Bubba, if you tell that story again, I'm going to have to arrest you.
Hey, babe. I'm just telling you, man, you got away with this many years. I don't know if I keep telling on myself.
Hey, Brian, you hear my Gretchen story?
And you're going back to Indiana here in about a month.
He gets off the plane and they're waiting for him. Oh, no.
It's such a cool story, though.
Cool's a word to use.
I mean, I don't even think I was. I think I was 19.
No, 19.
You keep telling the story after saying
I was 19 and she was. I was 19 and she was 15.
16, she was driving.
She was, yeah.
She was 15.
I
And
mean,
I
I'm
was,
glad we're rounding up, but that's fine.
She was 15 and I was
Like a couple years.
and I was 19. I think that's like a Romeo and Juliet deal.
I picked her up from 8th grade.
Anyways, right, Lummy, is there any way you could cut out that small part of the after show from yesterday?
She just.
What part do you want cut out?
Why the hell did you let me tell that story, Lummy?
I'm sorry.
Why? I told you to delete it everywhere, and then you let me tell the story again?
Again.
She's.
Bubba,
Yeah.
let's not do this. As much as I want you to tell the story, it's
19 and
not.
17.
So,
As much
Anna,
as you want to tell the
Not.
story.
I think
were
it's
you
What-
ever
how-
close to being statutorily raped?
no.
You never were like close, like at 14, 15, close to hooking up with a guy?
Me
No,
neither.
and
I
she
was
took it
barely-
personally.
I
She
was-
said that before.
barely close to hooking up with a guy when I was like 27.
I know,
Brian.
but there was no scenario looking back that you were in where you're like, oh, that guy was definitely trying to hook up with.
no one tried to fuck me till I was about 22.
Man.
Yeah.
That sounds like a country record.
No one tried to fuck me until I was about 22. And you know what?
my cousin,
Say it
but
again.
what else
Say
did
it
No
I
one
do?
tried to fuck me until I was about 22. And my first date, I'll never forget it. This guy, I was so excited because someone actually wanted to take me out on a proper date in college, which doesn't happen.
Like, pick up, go to dinner.
Yep.
yippee-yo.
And we planned the date, and then there was a giant fire in Santa Barbara, and he was so determined. He took me to the only we risked our lives, smoky fucking air to he took me to this place in Santa Barbara, the only place that was open.
Yeah, it was called Tight Clams.
What the fuck, Brian?
You been there?
Let me
Clearly.
I've been there a couple times. I gotta say, I enjoy it.
It's about as cheese dick as I can get. You give him a
that's
negative
bad.
one immediately.
Perfect. Okay.
Shame.
What is the score for? Like, what's the score,
I
Lummy?
think I'm +3 on the day.
Yes, Brian, you were +3 on the day.
Yeah, but he was like negative 36.
No.
No, he was only
think I'm 0.
he was even up
Thank
until
God.
just that little comment, so he's -1.
I think I'm the highest ranked on the show.
No.
Who's got more pluses?
if you were to
Somebody's in
go-
the positive?
Yeah,
you-
me
yeah.
and Macho.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Lummy +3, Macho +2, Anna even, Brian -1, Jay -4, Dr. Dan Diaco minus 18.
Yeah.
And Brett minus 24.
He got a big one. Oh no, I struck the 5. I was very fair about that. You know, I'm afraid if I tell the Gretchen Rose story that it's going to come back like it's going to be much like the Steven Tyler story.
Oh,
yeah, it'll almost be like we have to go and delete it again.
No, like Steven Tyler, the lead singer for Aerosmith, was blasting.
All right, trolls, cover your ears.
Nobody listen to this. Nobody report this to anybody. Nobody share that I did this, and I'm fully admitting to it for the 3rd time on air.
What I'm saying is, isn't the Steven Tyler? I'm talking completely about the Steven Tyler issue.
Right.
But you compared it exactly to
Shut
yours.
the fuck up.
Is that though? Is that still a thing? Is that still going on?
Statutory rape?
No, is it still?
I think he settled, didn't he?
Man, I hope I don't have to settle. I don't got anything to settle with.
The girl was 16 at the time.
And he was what?
20s.
23 or 4.
So she was
Not half as bad as your indiscretion.
I was 19 and she was like,
way
16.
less.
She was definitely
Agreed.
16.
Probably.
Definitely.
She was going to be 16 at some
She
point.
definitely was.
She turned 16 someday.
She was 16 in
Someday.
Missouri.
Shortly after this disaster, she turned 16.
Probably.
Man, I was never
She
so
wearing a
scared in
yellow
my entire
dress?
life.
What's the biggest age gap you've ever had, Lummy?
Well, mine was when Ellie.
Yeah, Lummy.
Ellie and she was
10 years?
She was 53 and I was 23.
What about you, Brian?
Mine was, I was 20,
What year's Lummy?
10.
10 years?
29, and the oldest was 50.
Wait, so 10 years, Lummy, 10 years younger than you or older than you?
Younger.
Okay.
So Lummy,
Oh,
you were,
my
Lummy, you were
youngest was
19 and she was 9?
Yes, exactly.
That's hot.
Yeah.
My youngest was 10 years.
I won't name her.
My youngest was 10 years younger than me, too. I was 30. She was 20.
Mine's been 16. Well, with me fucking with me being on the right side of the deal, with me being the older of the two, mine's been 16 and a couple different times. And then with me being the younger of the two, it was when Ellie was 53 and I was 23.
Oh, God. Wow.
That was the first girl that blew me with Vaseline.
Wow.
She literally, isn't Vaseline petroleum gel?
Yeah.
That's an old timer right there.
And she just went mouth on it with Vaseline. Why did she need Vaseline if she was giving you oral?
I don't know. She was like,
That's weird.
I went up to her apartment and she was like, I don't know. And she's just like, have you ever been given head with Vaseline? And I'm like, no, I didn't even know that was like a thing.
I don't think it is.
She just had a chronically dry mouth.
I guess so.
I don't think Vaseline will hurt. I think you can eat it.
No, I mean it's petroleum jelly. It's not like really something you should.
Hey
be
Alexa,
eating, but...
can
So
you
they did
eat
it during the
Vaseline?
Depression.
Alexa's been real.
Yeah, she's been a real bitch.
She probably heard 3 things at once.
Yeah.
Hey Alexa, can you eat Vaseline?
You can eat
From
anything.
Americanky.com, Vaseline is non-toxic, so it is safe to swallow.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I mean,
It's
so really,
safe to swallow.
I remember. It was at McClurg Court Apartments in Chicago, and I had her number, and she used to listen to me, on the air, and I remember the rent was due by the 5th. No matter what day the 5th was, it was late after the 5th, and the 5th was going to be on a Saturday where the office was closed. So at that point you had to go down to the office and they had this little drop box. And so if you dropped it in over the weekend, they, on Monday, they didn't know if you dropped it on Saturday or Sunday, you'd be okay. So I didn't know necessarily how the rules went. So I called Ellie and I said, hey, Ellie, I just got off the air on Friday. I can remember it was nothing. My rent was $1,250.
Whoa, that's high. What were you renting?
I was on the 48th floor of this huge. It's called McClurg Court. It was McClurg Court Apartments, and I was on almost the top floor for a 1-bedroom. Back in 1989, it was $1,250.
Wow.
But it's Friday night. I don't get off the air till 10 o'clock. So the office is closed, right, Brian?
Right.
And so I call Ellie, and I said, hey, Ellie, I got off the air at 10 o'clock. I didn't have a gig. I'm in my apartment. I'm like, hey, Ellie, I didn't get my rent check down to the office today. And she didn't tell me about you could go down and drop it off. She goes, well, why don't you just run it up to my apartment here? Well, there were 2 towers. McClurg Court has 2 towers. And she lived in a different tower than I did. I lived in the tower closest facing Navy Pier. She lived in the one that was parallel to that. And she said, well, you just bring it up to mine, and I'll record it that it got dropped off, Friday. I was like, okay. So I get up there. She answers the door like in this white negligee, like you can't, literally, you're going to think that I'm lying, and I'm literally not. Like, why would I lie about this? This is something that happened in 1989. Like, I mean, to just show you how pathetic I really am, I could never pull this kind of shit.
So did you have a 2-bedroom unit? What'd you have?
I had a 1-bedroom.
Whew, you were overpaying for that time, man. They got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for $21.25 now. But it wasn't the 40. It's not the 48th floor. It's the 26th.
Brian, I was on. How tall is the McClurg Court complex?
It's at least 44. You got 44 here. Let's see. I'm trying to see the highest one that's available.
Because I think I was
45.
I think I was on 47. I think there was 2 floors above me. I think it might have been 50 floors. But Brian, you don't understand how fucking pimp that is. As soon as women would walk in to your apartment and you had your curtains open and there's...
Oh, I know how it was. I used it at Sky Point frequently, and I wasn't even that high. So it's 52 floors, Bubs.
Yeah, and I was on floor 47.
Oh.
and like floors 45 on up had a special little club and a whole 9 yards. Well, so I went down, and she lived she got a free apartment to work to be like one of the building managers, but she was like on floor 7. Like, like Brian, they're not going to give the workers that they comp apartments to, 49 Willies. So I go down there, and she answers the door in like really hot. Maybe that's why I like white negligee so much. Like, I don't really like negligee if it's not. I like white negligee.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm. And so she answered the door like in this white negligee with like some wine, and I'm not even a drinker. And she's like, would you like to have a glass of wine with me? I was like, I got my check, and sure. I don't even like wine. I think wine's fucking putrid.
Did she have big pendulous breasts?
She had 53-year-old, kind of hot.
Frecked up Knox?
She kind of reminded me of.
Your mom?
I'm not kidding you. I'm really not kidding you.
Janie Cakes?
No.
Don't say that.
Next time.
She kind of looked like, I'm not kidding you, she kind of had a June Cleaver feel.
Wow.
That's hot.
Really, like she kind of really, 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 really resembled like a June Cleaver kind of deal.
What was her name?
Ellie.
Ellie what?
I don't know what her last name was.
Oh, man.
But Brian, you got to
dead
think she
now.
was 52 back in 1989. What would that make her now?
Old as hell.
Hold on. How many? 23 minus 1980.
34 years plus.
1989.
86.
Plus.
Right? 52?
52. She'd be 86.
She'd be a great guest to have if we could find her. If she survived COVID, it'd
like,
be
Ellie,
awesome.
Yes. This is Bubba. Remember back in
fuck Joe.
Remember back in 1989, I went over to your place and you sucked my dick with Vaseline. Remember?
Better get that Vaseline ready.
You sucked my dick using Vaseline. Do you remember?
Oh, how convenient. You have Alzheimer's now.
Oh, you have Alzheimer's now? You don't remember me? But Allie, I thought, but here's the deal. Here's what sucks. So we had this thing going.
Yeah.
I was dating that girl named Andrea. Remember?
Yeah.
And then I broke up with her and dated a girl named Lisa Sweeto after Andrea went to my cousin's wedding and didn't have any panties on.
Real whore.
My mom takes me aside and says, your fucking slut girlfriend from Chicago doesn't have any panties on, and all the women want you to leave. I go, Mom, fucking Andrea's. I mean, everybody loves her. They're all. She's like, oh no, all the men are talking to her, but the women. Do you know she's not wearing panties? I go,
hadn't noticed.
So we had to leave. Then I dated Lisa Sweeto. Then I think I wasn't dating anybody. So then I get this Ellie hookup, and she then tells me after after we got done, she then said, hey, why don't you just drop off your check every month here? So now I'm thinking, well, this is a good deal. Like, this is a pretty good deal. She's pretty hot. She sucks dick with Vaseline.
That's so weird.
And, and she's not wanting like a boyfriend.
Nope.
or nothing like that.
How many other guys in the building do you think she was doing that with?
Oh, I don't think any.
She had dirty birdie.
Oh, you're the only one. You're the only
She
one
told me I
ever.
was special,
When
man.
you called up and you said I'm late on rent, and she happened to open up in a negligence, that was the first time you think she ever tried that shot?
Yeah, you're probably right on that one.
She just took a chance with
And
him.
there was some, and
That
you
probably
know,
wasn't
hold on,
Vaseline.
Brian.
That was probably the cum from the guy before you.
And Brian, you know what? There were some famous people that lived in my building.
Michael Jordan.
No, I'll tell you some people. Kevin Butler, the kicker for the Bears lived in my building.
Oh, wow. Well, Trent Dilfer there, too?
All the special teamers were there.
No, but I mean, you got to think, Brian, this is right downtown Chicago. There's probably lawyers and doctors and, like, you know, a lot of more affluent people than stupid fucking nighttime radio DJs.
But she picked you, buddy.
Yep, you were the one that she said, that's my target.
She said,
So
I can't let him get away.
So do you
William
think...
Perry was
Well,
fucking up in there.
Wait, the fridge. I followed the fridge. That wasn't Vaseline. That was the fridge's nut.
Yep, she just saved the nut up for the next guy coming up with the rent check.
She put the fridge's nut in the freezer, froze up the nut, fucking doubled it as Vaseline, and blew me with fridge's fucking lube.
She's actually on set of the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yeah.
Now you got to think, man. You're probably right in the fact that she probably had this because you know how it got set up. I was in the rent office, and when I was signing up for the you know how Brian, they give you like a little folder and a package that shows you like where the garbage chute is and like
Yeah.
like your welcoming package.
Yeah. They're welcoming you to the building.
Well, she put her
Cell phone number, her house phone number on it.
She put her card, and then on the back of it she says, after hours, if there's an emergency or like any plumbing issues or anything like that, if you need to get a hold of somebody, here's my personal number. Just call me, because I'm gonna I'm gonna be the one that calls maintenance or whatever. So she probably just sized the dudes up.
Yep.
On the sign up factor. The ones that had wives and stuff, Brian, she didn't even bother.
Right.
But the single dudes,
You had some plumbing issues.
She thought you
took care
played
of
for the
them.
Bears.
I mean, you got to think, man. She probably was getting all kinds of dick.
She's telling her friends. She's telling her friends that she's blowing the long snapper for the Bears.
Super Bowl Shuffle going through there.
And that's when Mike Ditka had his place, and it was real popular. So again, look, it's Chicago, 1989. Who were the 89 Bears?
The 89 Bears?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get to the list.
The 89 Bears.
Oh, yeah, but you know she was during the Super Bowl Shuffle.
So on the 89 Bears, we had some legends. Neil Anderson, Trace Armstrong, Mark Bortz,
Oh, yeah.
Cap Boso. Let's see, I'm looking for a big name here.
Well, you got to think of the running back.
Sweetness, was he around?
He was there.
Was Walt? I don't think Walter was around in '89.
He wasn't?
I think Walter retired.
We had William Perry. He was there.
Right.
Ron Rivera.
Riverboat Ron.
Riverboat Ron was
He
there.
might have been getting some Ellie had.
Yeah, let's see.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim was in there.
Oh, he wasn't.
Jim
there.
Harbaugh.
Mike Singletary.
How about the '89 Bulls?
Oh, I mean, Michael Jordan.
Well,
all day
Michael
long.
Jordan was there,
Bill
yeah.
Cartwright, right?
You have Steve Kerr.
Yeah, no, not
wasn't
Kerr yet. Not
Charles
in
Oakley.
89.
Oh, Charles Oakley was getting into those
Yeah.
guts.
Was Horace Grant there yet?
Horace Gump.
Horace.
Bill Cartwright, Dave Corzine, Charles Davis, Horace Grant was there.
Oh.
Jack Haley, Craig Hodges, Anthony Jones, Michael Jordan, Ed Neely, John Paxson, Will Perdue, Scottie Pippen, Dominic Presley,
They
Brad
won that year,
Sellers,
didn't they?
No,
Sam Vincent,
not to
David
91.
Wood.
They didn't win in '89.
No, that was
No,
the
they lost in
Pistons.
the Eastern Conference Finals 2-4 to the Pistons.
Oh yeah, that was during the Detroit run, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Detroit win? Didn't they win 2 or 3 in a row?
2 back to back.
The Bad Boys.
And then how many did the Bulls win?
3 and then 3. Repeat the three-peat.
So they three-peated and then took off 2. That's when Jordan went to go play baseball.
Yep.
But a lot of people say that he had to leave the league because of a gambling issue.
And getting his father killed, yeah.
Now, Brian, what do you believe? Do you believe that he was told you need to leave the fucking league?
I believe there's more than meets the eye there. I don't think he got, upset and wanted to go try to play baseball. A guy like him doesn't want to fail at anything.
Then he came back and they won 3 more, right?
Yeah.
Now, have you heard the latest that he had to sell the Hornets because of a gambling deal. Did you hear that conspiracy?
Yes.
I mean,
what are you hearing about?
I don't think so. You mean the league asked him to
Yes.
because it was going to come? Of course, the guy's a degenerate gambler. He's worth $2 billion, but he's a degenerate gambler.
How can you be?
Yeah, exactly. He wins, obviously.
Keep winning, yeah.
So the league stepped in and tell me what you're hearing. Well, Brian and Lummy.
None of these organizations, as sports betting is becoming more and more integral into their profit mechanism, they don't want their league to be accused of being, and they don't want the government scrutiny, right? Because that's a very quick way for this whole game to end, is for the feds to get involved and pass the law saying that, sports gambling and sport gambling sponsorships are illegal and all of this. So they catch wind that, he's got a betting problem or is betting on games, and they say, look, man, you got to sell the team.
Yeah, no, I've heard what you've heard, Bubba, is that his old habit, gambling, has the NBA kind of stepped in and said, you gotta sell it because we're not going to have gambling.
That's really bad because that was so good for the NBA to be minority owned from the greatest player of all time. It was such a good story. It was a great story, and I think it might be I think he owned almost all, but 3 or 4% of the team because he bought back 10% or something like that. But he was well over 90% ownership, and how is that not a win-win? In today's world, they're always trying. The one knock on the NFL, the NBA, is that there's not enough minority ownership. That's always a discussion. Well, I mean. This is owned by arguably one of the greatest.
The greatest in the league.
The greatest in the history of the league, who happens to be minority, and it's from the area that he grew up in. I mean, it's an absolute unbelievable story. Now, he was never able to field a competitive team. That's what I never understood, Brian. He owned the team for I don't know how long, and they've always sucked. I don't know that any Michael Jordan owned franchise. Didn't he own a little bit of the Wizards for a while?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He was a small
He played
owner.
there and then got an ownership piece as part of his deal to play there.
Right.
He was the president.
But mostly we're known for his ownership with the Hornets, and I don't think the Hornets ever were competitive under his watch.
They made the playoffs maybe twice.
So Brian, you would think can he not assess talent? Does his general manager not assess talent? The league is skewed to have a hard salary. Do they have a hard salary cap?
They have caps on what players can earn on mega max.
But they have max deals.
They've got it's real creative, the accounting there. Real creative.
Really, the only league is probably the only real league that has a fucking bona fide hard cap is the NHL that you can't play cute games with. You can play cute games and with baseball. All you do, there is no hard cap. Well, there is. But if you go over a certain amount, you just pay a fucking penalty on what they call a luxury tax that gets distributed through the other teams. Literally, I think Brian, that the baseball has more of a minimum amount that you have to spend more than they do a maximum. I think that they have a $75 million minimum.
Baseball, I don't think, has a floor. But the cap is artificial in that teams get taxed at a very high percentage if they go over, and if they go over multiple years in a row, and how much they go over by, they lose draft picks, they lose international pool compensation money, and then they have to pay luxury tax, which goes to revenue sharing, which goes to the Rays and Oakland and teams like that don't spend or can't spend because their market size prohibits it.
And the NHL, they got a pretty tough cap, do they not? Their cap is just, you can't get real cute with their cap.
No, you can't play any reindeer games with the NFL salary cap. The only thing you can do is take on long-term injured reserve, which it's a complicated
or a guaranteed deal, right?
It's a complicated. There's really nothing you can do. All contracts in the NFL or NHL are fully guaranteed. You cannot break it up differently over each year.
And
they take
NHL.
AAV, average annual value. Across the contract, so it doesn't matter if the team wants to pay a guy $5 million one year and escalate it up to $15 million the last. They're taking an average of that and applying it across every year, regardless of how much physically they're paying him.
Which league is the fairest? Which league has its cap set up so that there's parity in the league?
The NHL.
And one team could suck one year and be in the finals the next.
The NHL is set up that way. NFL a little bit to a lesser extent, the NFL. But the NFL is not the reason why the NHL is more pure and fair is you can't play those reindeer games. In the NHL, they can do all those reindeer games of
but it's
extending
still
them.
Makes it
It's still competitive, but the NHL is by far and away the fairest and the most competitive and most parity out of any
speaking of which, do you like the Lightning off-season moves? They're almost like they had to do them.
Well, they had to, and they didn't get
they
a lot.
got rid of Killorn, right?
They didn't get a lot worse. And for a team that has been hamstrung by the salary cap going up only $3 million the last 3 years total, and having to re-sign core talent and everything that they've been through, they've done the absolute best they can with what they've had to work with. I mean, look, Corey Perry was just gifted $4 million by the Blackhawks so that they could hit the salary floor. The NHL actually has a salary floor and a salary cap.
So they went and got Perry just to fuck us, and because they needed to pad their floor up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we actually got to trade him to them and get a 7th-round pick for him, which was nice, so that he didn't hit the open market because they needed to overpay him in order to hit their floor, I think. They're a really bad team right now. Talk about how the mighty have fallen.
With the Blackhawks?
Yeah.
How is the Steve Yzerman led and owned? Because I heard he got a piece of the team to go back.
Yeah, they kept.
How is Detroit doing?
They looked last season like they were going to have their breakthrough, and they still haven't had it. And so, they're actually having to retool a little bit. They're not quite where they thought they would be at this point. I think they thought they would be contending. And,
a lot of people did.
And they're still not there.
What's the shelf life left? And Lightning is it as long as we have Bolt, Cooch, and Vazzy, are we still
the Lightning are set up to be like the Penguins have been, which is they'll be a middle of the pack playoff team for the next 5 or 6 years. They're not going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to get that bad. As long as you have somebody like Vazzy, you're going to compete. As long as you have Cooch and Point and these guys, there's just no way. They're not going to be the worst, all of a sudden, the worst team in hockey.
Hello?
They're not going to be the darling pick anymore.
Hello.
No.
But we're no longer the sexiest, baddest ass team in the league.
Right.
No, we get to run under the radar a little bit.
Hello?
Hey, South Tampa. Hey, I don't know what babyface. By the way, a huge babyface Mark. He's part of the white collar Bubba Army.
White collar Bubba Army. I like that, Brian. Don't you?
Vasilevsky.
Yes.
Vasilevsky was riding like a Ducati on the Howard Franklin on his 28th birthday. That's like the last person on earth I want to see on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I bet the team wasn't thrilled with that, and I'm sure he got a talking to about that.
Yeah, your $9 million goalie on a Ducati on the Howard Franklin, ripping it and then putting it up on Instagram probably isn't a good look. I'm thinking he might. Brian, I got a Tom Bean-like phone call.
Yeah, he got called up.
Mm-hmm. He got a Lou Pickney letter. The thing I was going to say is the Lightning also been decimated by expansion drafts.
Yeah,
and they can't protect players, and they had good guys. Also, and there's a rumor that Atlanta is going to get their 3rd shot at an NHL franchise. They lost the Flames to Calgary, and they lost the Thrashers to Winnipeg. I mean, so
we're going to go expansion again. Market. Don't you think Atlanta's too close to Carolina, or is that a viable enough market for them, Brian?
Here's the league is doing this because it's
love you guys.
Yep, it's their best way to generate revenue. They can get $1 billion franchise fee, and that gets split up amongst all the owners. So what it doesn't dilute the TV money enough to turn down $1 billion in present value.
How many teams are there? 31.
I think their goal is to get to 32.
Yeah.
And so they got $1 billion. What's $1 billion? What's $1 billion divided by 31? That's I think that's 300 and what is that? Is that 32 million?
They're at.
I think that's 32.
Now.
I think it's 32 million a
it's
team.
32, 33 million a team. Yeah.
Now is that up and beyond your cap? Is that just here? Here you go. Is that just free money for you?
Yeah, it's essentially
is that Jeff Vinnick's. It's like just here.
It goes into the league and they do different stuff with it, but yeah, it's definitely. So here's the nice thing about the NHL: The lower limit on their cap is 61.7. That's the minimum a team has to spend. And the upper limit is 83.5.
That's not a big range.
No, and that's what makes it competitive because you can't just buy players, stack up your squad, and be good to go.
Like the Marlins did. Remember when the Marlins bought a championship with a Pudge and was it Alex Rodriguez? And remember?
Well, no, not era, but it was 97.
Yeah, the '97 Marlins. I mean,
Terry Sheffield, Alex Fernandez.
boy, what happened to the Mets, Brian? They went out and got everybody, fucking Slinging Dick, Verlander, everybody had open checkbook, zillion bucks. And then is it Buck Showalter's a fucking ass bucket or whoever's? I mean,
yeah, what they didn't account for was the rule changes and youth is the movement in MLB, and so they went out and bought these old names and gave them big contracts, and that ain't the way to the playoffs anymore. And just because you accumulate a lot of named players, it doesn't mean that you're going to win more games. These guys aren't, first of all, a starting pitcher is only going to win you a game every 5 games. So that's great that you got a good starter, but that's not like getting a position player that's going to make a real difference defensively and offensively in 150 games a season.
What about the trades the Rays made during the
amazing? Savali is such a great trade.
For real?
For real.
The pitcher's really good.
Fucking great. To only have to give up one prospect on a position that you're not scarce on, which is a left-handed hitting bat that you have down in the minors. You got other kids. You've got guys in the majors right now. For a pitcher with 2+ years of control. See, that's the difference between what the Rays did versus what these other teams did. These other teams went out and got pitchers that are essentially rentals. Hey,
Mach, Mach, when I end the show, do I hit the close? I see you building it over there.
Go ahead and hit a CD like normal. I'm just putting it up to remind myself to switch bar.
Oh, okay.
Work on some stuff.
Cool. So I just hit a CD like normal. You handle the rest?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right, so these other players went out and rented players.
Players. The Rays got a guy that they have affordable control over for the next 2 seasons, beyond this season. So they get him for 2+ seasons.
Is Glasgow a free agent after this year?
No, they owe him big. He may be traded.
Most likely he'll be traded.
It's a $20 million, I think
for next year.
$23 million for next year.
What is it, like 11 this year and 20 next?
Yeah, they got him on a discount this year from the season back from first full season back from Tommy John, as like kind of like okay, we get you in a discount this year, we got to pay you next year.
But he's a $20 million homie next year?
I mean, right now at this moment, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Right this second, the last month, the best pitcher in baseball. Nobody even close.
So what's his number for next year?
If he was on the mark, well, his number is 23 if the Rays get him.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Is he unrestricted or
no? They have him under contract for $23 million.
Dodgers. I mean, you're gonna get something for that guy. You can't afford him as a Ray, but I mean, man, if the Dodgers or these big spending teams, want a guy, a $40 million value pitcher for $23 million, because that's the biggest pitchers are $40 million guys now, right?
Easily. I mean, some of them even higher.
All right, so you want
Scherzer
basically
and Verlander just got they were getting.
You can go out
deals.
And get Glasgow next year for $23 million, make a big trade with the Rays, and I mean you're saving $20 million, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely getting a discount on an ace, and
I mean the Rays have to. I mean, in order for Glasgow to go somewhere else, the Rays have to be compensated because they have his right.
Well,
they would be trading him.
Yeah,
so what you would probably do if you're a team is you're looking to do a trade where you've already come to terms with his agent on a contract,
a sign and trade,
kind of, sorta, yeah, something like that, where you're going to get him beyond that year, and then the Rays are going to get 2 or 3 prospects for him.
I could see him making a 2-team trade.
Yeah,
bringing in a couple other guys because he's hitting 30 in 20 days.
All right, and then finally, I know, Ani, this always turns into a sports show. Sorry,
I like it.
But before we let Brian go, and I'm right at my hour.
And a food review today.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm headed for a food review. And
Barbie ice cream from
no.
I got a card for you.
Anna will take you.
I'm not going. I'm not doing any Barbie shit.
God, Bubba.
Got an ounce of manhood left in me.
Funny.
So
Ellie will suck that out of you.
Have we had any reports about how Mayfield's been doing at camp?
Yeah, he's been shitting the bed.
He's Baker Mayfield. We know what we got with him.
For
he's
real.
Been throwing a lot of picks, but it's practice.
For real. Like, meanwhile, we're hearing good things about my buddy Jordan Love in Green Bay. I've not heard a big buzz about Mayfield at all.
It's because he's stinking it up.
For real.
Kyle Trask has gone 4 straight practices without throwing an interception. Baker's thrown like 7.
Trask is going to be their opening day starter.
Great.
I mean, a lot of the players are saying that he's a stud. Everybody is pleasantly surprised with where he is taking this offense. He's getting a lot more reps with the first team, too.
And even their...
How much did they get for Mayfield? Was it a lot?
Peanuts. I mean, they're paying him
$8 million.
And
that's with incentives, I think, too.
And the offensive coordinator, Canales, is really liking Trask. Really liking Trask. So I have a feeling Mayfield may not even get to be the starter.
Honestly, if Kyle Trask wins this battle, I know Mayfield has been an ass bucket, but it gets me more excited for Trask than anything else because nobody had any expectations for him.
So what happens to
Mayfield?
Mayfield? Is he just a clip? Does he just? I mean, none of their NFL is the most non-guaranteeable league of all. Can they cut him?
They could. They're going to have to sign another.
They have no other quarterbacks. That's the problem. And you already have the money invested into him.
I mean, $8 million was it?
No, well, technically it's 4, but the incentives he's 8.
He's not hitting the incentives.
No.
Yeah, he's not going to hit the incentives. And the Bucs are a team that were strapped enough for cash that, like, if you're just going to eat a $4 or $5 million contract like that, then it's really stupid.
So
on
really,
Jason
his
Light.
contract's 4 with the 4 kicker.
Yeah,
he's not going to get the 4 kicker, so he's $4 million backup.
Sure,
which really isn't that exorbitant for the NFL. You know, usually they're 2 or 3.
Wait, he's only $2 million.
It's a 1 year.
He's a $2 million,
contract.
and his cap number is only 1.7.
Yeah, you keep him on.
His dead money is higher. You can't cut him. You can't cut him.
Do they have 3 quarterbacks on the roster or just 1?
They do. They got Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield, and then John Walford, who is the backup they signed from L.A.
He got a roster. He gets a roster bonus for $2 million.
That's what he gets.
Yeah,
but that's why. But that counts. They have to count that against their cap, no matter what.
Fournette's gone, right?
Yeah.
Who's your
he's long gone.
Who's your running backs now?
Rashad White.
He's good.
Second-year running back. Unproven, but he is pretty good. Chase Edmonds and Keyshawn Vaughn, who will probably be cut because they're saying a lot of good things about Sean Tucker, who was an undrafted free agent, I believe, from either Illinois or Syracuse.
How about
he's
that
kind of a
fucking
stud.
How about that nut job, that crazy fucking lumberjack, redheaded, taking his teeth out from North Dakota?
Cody Malk.
Is he an offensive or defensive lineman?
He's offensive line. He's actually been getting first-team reps with the O-line, too.
Really?
Guard?
As a guard?
Yeah.
Nice. Do we get our redheaded center back?
Yeah,
we do. Yeah, he's been out there.
Is he hurt?
Jensen? He came back last year.
Yeah,
he actually said he should. He came back and played in that playoff game. He said he probably should not have, but he did.
But he did.
We lost. So he's back. He's healthy. He's ready to go.
Fantastic. That's all. I got to actually poop and then do a food review. I'm doing the chicken dip
Bites?
The chicken dip bites, which makes me a little bit sad because I had a chicken dip empire that was going to have me a very rich man.
Anchovies, Bubba.
Okay, let's end.
Fuck.